What's up, everybody? Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this. All right, so check this out, man. I've been dying to try to make this freaking video, but I just been so busy. I haven't had a chance to. But it's Thursday night, and I got a few minutes, and I said I was gonna make the video, so here it is. We're making this video. All right, so what are we gonna talk about today? Well, you see the title of the freaking video: PC graphics. PC graphics settings. What is the best setting for you? I'm gonna tell you exactly what that is. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how disappointed I am and how disgusted I am at what this PC graphics settings things has turned into. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of history. So my introduction into PC gaming was with a i5 CPU and a GPU of a 1050 Ti, right? So it's decent, right? It's decent. It's like mid tier, maybe low on the lower end of the mid tier. But again, the PC that I got was mainly for school, and I just wanted it to be able to game. That's it. But it was mainly for school, and I wanted it to be strong enough to run whatever PowerPoint or Excel I needed. I know a 1050 Ti is kind of overkill to run PowerPoints, but regardless, don't judge me. So when I started playing on the PC, I remember I was I came from playing consoles. So playing something at 30 frames per second constantly to me was great because if you play on console, you're used to playing at 30 frames or less. And what's crazy is you don't even know what frames are. You're not even tracking it. You're just whatever the game is being slow because there's a lot of stuff going at it. It almost gives it like a cool slow motion effect because again, you just don't know any better. But anyway, so after a year of playing with the 1050 Ti and experiencing PC gaming and everything, I mean, I loved it. Had a blast. But I caught myself. I know if you guys go back to a few my earlier videos, I caught myself paying a lot of attention to that FPS counter at the top right or the top left, depending on where the game had it. Right now, I knew that my screen was a 60 hertz screen, so I wanted to play at that magical 60 FPS. But even at first, like I'll admit it, I was all about graphics. So I would bump up the graphics extremely high. And as long as I was getting above 30 frames, I was fine. And for the most part, the 1050 Ti in most games, like, look, man, I was easily getting like, I don't know, like 45, 55, sometimes 60, depending on the game or whatever. The first game that I played was Far Cry 3. Now, this is when I first should have realized how much PC graphic settings don't really matter. You heard me right. They don't really matter. Now listen. I'm explaining. So I remember I was playing Far Cry and I dropped the graphic settings completely low. And I remember there was a difference in the visuals, but it was like really small. Then I picked it up, put it all the way to ultra, and it looked better, but it wasn't like amazing. It wasn't like leaps and bounds better. It wasn't like I was playing on a PS3 and now I'm playing on a PS4. That was definitely not the level of, there's levels to this. It wasn't there, I wasn't gonna say there was levels to this when I upped the graphics. Okay. And I remember my boy ISO, I think I had it in my office, and he came up there, and I asked him like, "Yo, am I doing something wrong?" And he changed the graphic settings on the PC, on my PC. He was like, "Yeah, just one of the things you could tell is the grass." He's like, "Look at the grass." So we looked at the grass. We dropped the graphic settings to low, and the grass didn't change. You 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 literally couldn't tell. You know what did change though when we dropped the graphic settings? That little number at the top, that FPS number. It went from like a 45, 42, jumping all over the place to a constant 60, 65, depending on what I was doing, sometimes even 70. So I was getting more frames per second than my freaking monitor could actually show me. Okay, so at the beginning of my gaming PC gaming career. Okay, once I beat once I beat Far Cry 3, then I started playing the Assassin's Creed games on PC. And for me, my biggest thing was, again, if I was getting above 30 frames per second or 30 frames per second at a minimum, I was playing it on the best settings. I was just raising it all the way up. And I played through a few of the Assassin's Creed games on the PC, and same things, played it like that. After that, I started playing Crysis, the first Crysis, right? Now, Crysis is the game that everybody likes to benchmark their PC off of. Everybody talks about, if your can it run Crysis? Can your PC run Crysis? Can your PC right now run Crysis? Like, don't get too cocky. Don't get too cocky. So here's the deal with Crysis, right? Crysis is the one game so far that I have played where the graphic settings actually matter. Like legit. It is like playing a PS3 game when you have it on low to playing a PS4 game when you have it all the way up. I promise you. Crysis is the game that the graphic settings you can definitely tell the difference. Now, Crysis was the rage due to how beautiful the game looked. So I wasn't about to play that game on low settings. No. I was gonna play that game at high settings. But around that time, the PC that I'm currently using now went on sale for, it's like on Prime Day for like $900, right? And it's the Acer Predator Helios 300. It was like $900, like $920. It was ridiculous. I had to jump on it. It's got an i7 processor. It's got a 1660 Ti, and it's got a 144 hertz screen, right? So I went ahead, jumped on it, got it, was exciting. I got a really small unboxing of it. And yeah, I started playing on this thing, and I gave my other PC to PokerDude. So what happened once I got this 144 hertz screen? The worst thing ever happened. Okay. Now I could definitely play all those old games. Definitely could play on high ultra settings, whatever, and get well above 60 frames per second. Well above 60 frames per second. The problem was that I know that my screen can do 144 hertz. So naturally, I want to see 144 hertz. So I was left with a dilemma. And I even spoke about this, right? Like, if I could go back, now I wouldn't do it, but before, if I could go back, I would have gotten a laptop with like a 1070 Max Q or something, right? And 60 hertz monitor, just so I can max out every single game, the graphic settings, and know that I'm reaching the maximum capacity of my screen, and I'd be happy. Everything is maxed out, so I'd be happy. And I know it sounds crazy because now I could max out everything on my games, right? But I know that I'm not maxing out all the frames that my screen can handle, right? So I'm not gonna lie. I finished playing Crysis, the first Crysis, on ultra high settings, and then from there I went ahead and I started playing Crysis 2. So right now I'm currently playing Crysis 2. And this is where the nail got hit on the head, okay? So here's the deal. Crysis 2 on its lowest settings, looks amazing. Crysis 2 on its highest setting looks amazing plus. That's it. That's it. It looks slightly better. And between the highest setting, like the ultra setting and extreme and very high, some of the stuff is really, I mean, you could argue what you like better, what you think looks more realistic to you. But here's the thing that is without a shadow of a doubt better. The frame rate on its lowest setting is way better than the frame rate on its highest setting. So I started playing Crysis 2 on low because the game is beautiful regardless. But the smoothness of the game and getting all those frames, oh my goodness, that definitely makes a bigger impact than the actual visual of the games. Because here's the deal, right? A lot of the differences when you go from low to very high settings, you're only going to be able to really tell if you stop moving. If you stop and you're just looking at something. Look, if you switch graphic settings and you got to go back and forth and like really look, then it's not really doing anything. The shadows look a little bit different. The lighting looks a little bit different, right? But look, man, when you're playing at 144 frames per second, you don't care about that lighting. The smoothness of the way the game feels more realistic because it's moving a lot more natural. And then I started wondering, I was like, well, why is this? How come this game looks so good like this? Are there any other games that do that? And I went back to Far Cry 3, re-downloaded it, started playing it again, and you know what? It's the same thing. The only thing that I keep on, regardless of how low the settings are, is anti-aliasing. That's it. Besides that, I drop everything low and I freaking max out the frame rates of these games, and I'm playing and I am having a great time. Way better. So I started thinking like, why? How is this even possible? Because Crysis showed me that you need good graphics, right? Crysis showed me that. But a lot of these games, this is what it is, guys. And I've seen other YouTubers say it. A lot of these games are optimized for console. It's the truth. So if they're trying to make this stuff run and look great on console, okay? So even at the lowest settings, these games nowadays still look good. Still look good. So this is what I'm gonna tell you out there, okay? If you have a graphics card and right now you can max out not the graphics, but you can max out the frames per second, okay? On that in that game on medium settings, on definitely keep that graphics cards. High settings, ultra settings, extreme settings, whatever they want to call it, epic settings are not worth it. I'm telling you right now, it is not worth it. You will prefer to get more frames than anything else. And then the argument goes for people that say, well, I only got a 60 hertz monitor. So if I'm getting above 60 FPS, it doesn't help me. Well, look, man, I was doing some research on it, and apparently, if you have a 60 hertz monitor, but your graphics card is still pushing out more frame rates, yes, you're only still going to see 60 frames. However, it dramatically reduces the input lag, which means it's more responsive. That also makes the game better. That as soon as you freaking hit the jump, it jumps. As soon as you move to the right, it moves to the right. I mean, everything becomes better. So frames per second is the way to go. This is how much frames per second matter to me now. I would never have entertained the idea of getting a PS4 Pro because I got a PS4, right? Because I didn't understand. All I thought about was the graphics. I don't have a 4K TV, so that doesn't matter to me. But if I could play games at 60 frames per second versus the freaking 30, I might have to do it, man. I might have to do it. So graphic settings, they're a lie, man. They're a lie. These games out here, these developers are doing a great job making sure that their games can be played by a plethora of people with a plethora of different graphics cards, high and low. Okay, these graphics cards are getting stronger anyways, right? So look, guys, save your money, aim for that frame rate. If you got a graphics card that on low can play something at the max rate of your screen, keep that graphics card until you can't. The only thing, if you really want to be picky, if at medium you can't max out, then okay, fine, go ahead and upgrade. But I'm telling you, play it at low first, see how the game looks. I promise you won't be disappointed. I'm sure there's more games out there like Crysis. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what games are like that when you put them on low, they actually do look really bad. And again, the only thing I leave on is anti-aliasing. I think there's something else I leave on. Um, Maybe like model detail or something. But for the most part, I drop everything. So Doc Dog 1985. Look, there's levels to these graphics. There's levels to frames per second. And if you're playing at 60 versus playing at 144, once you touch that 144, I'm warning you right now, it is gonna change your life. There's levels to this, dog. I'm at that 144 club. What club you at? We out. Peace.